So nice meeting you all again. We are united in the spirit, and also we enjoy the connection of Harikatha, this very sweet topic of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And let's continue our discussion about the main topics of this very holy sacred scripture. But first of all, let me offer my obeisances. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yot Kripatam Aham Vande Paramananda Madhavam He Guru Gyanada Dinabandhu Swananda Data Karunakasindo Vrindavana Sinhitavataram Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachara. Before telling anything about today's topic for you, I'd like to mention something about the teachings, some essential points of the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He declared that separation from the divine truth and separation from the divine couple, the feeling of viraha, the feeling of loss of this divine connection is the topmost spiritual realization. Theoretically, we agree with this point, but practically, it's a torturing experience. And just the other day, I received the news that one very dear spiritual sister of ours, the good wife of Prashant, son of Shripad Sadhu Maharaj, has joined the Leelas of our Lord. So let me offer this lecture and this Sangha, virtual Sangha, for her sacred memory, and so that she is accepted without any hindrance into the divine embrace, so that all her spiritual ideals are fulfilled to the utmost. Separation is a bitter experience, but at the same time, it's a happy event. Finally, all the troubles of material existence is finished for a devotee, and the eternal journey continues to the Anandam and the full and complete embrace of the divine couple for her. So let me offer this worship, this respect for the sacred memory and the eternal benefit of Mridula. And today we have to continue our discussion about the main topics of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is for us the most essential sacred book. Why? One reason is a very special verse at the beginning chapters of the Bhagavatam, where it is said, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. it says Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore we appreciate this scripture, and therefore we follow and try to approach him as the super excellent Godhead. And the other reason why we cherish the Srimad Bhagavatam so much is that it is a favorite pick, the choice of our Mahaprabhu. But also the last verse, which I would like to mention at the end, the last verse of the Bhagavatam glorifies the holy name. And therefore, starting with Krishna as the all-attractive, super excellent Godhead, and the conclusion is the holy name. Therefore, this is the best scripture for us. But today, we have to discuss the seventh main topic of the Bhagavatam, which is called ISANUKATHA. And ISANUKATHA means we can describe it, we can approach this topic like the science of God. But first of all, let's try to analyze a little bit the root and the words contained here, Isha and Katha. Isha means to possess something, to lord, to master something, to own. Isha is like the Lord, like the possessor of everything, the master of everything to the full possible complexity. So the absolute owner of something. Also, this word Isha or Ishan means a capability. So it's not simply to possess something, but to be capable of taking care of what you possess. It's a very special, higher kind of approach to this aspect. Also, a superiority is included here. So in all the details and all the aspects of this word, this kind of supreme ownership, this possessive power is included. And Katha, we know very well. Katha is like a talk, a discussion, a story, historical knowledge or records, a speech. But also this is a genre in literature. So it's a kind of prose composition. And also the Katha in philosophy included. And in philosophy, this is a disputation, like a debate, like a very elegant discussion of different opinions, and sides meet and discuss. But for us, Krishna Katha, Katha is a talk about God, and ultimately Katha for us is Krishna Katha. And I just remembered a very beautiful explanation of Sripad Bhakti Kamala Tirtha Mahāradž. He said, real Krishna Katha is a talk about Krishna with heart, with the emotional surcharge. You see? So it's not simply a discussion. Definitely this is not a debate, but it's an eloquent speech sharing the glories of the Supreme and sharing your divine experience. So Katha is surcharged with something. For us, this is a spiritual practice. This is not a philosophical debate, it's a spiritual practice. So ISANUKATHA means, we can say the proper definition, according to the Bhagavatam itself, it says, the science of God describes the incarnations of Godhead, his different activities like this, and including the activities of his great devotees. So these three main categories, these three main topics are included here in this topic, the seventh topic of the Bhagavatam. The discussion about the avatars and incarnations of God Supreme, his activities in these different forms, and the activities of his beloved devotees. So this topic is not a limited one, it's an inclusive topic, and there are many details that we can discuss. If this is a talk about God in general, we can say, if this is a talk about God, the very interesting story comes to my mind about Gorakishora Das Babaji. And once his helpers, his followers, his devotees wanted to help him. And he gave an instruction that, oh, there is this place nearby, and please purify this place. Throw salt all over this place to purify this. And everybody was surprised because, you know, just some little time before, on that same spot, a Bhagavad Katha happened. So his followers, his helpers told Babaji Maharaj, oh, Babaji Maharaj, why you say like this? Here the divine talk about the Bhagavatam has happened, so it should be considered a holy place. But then Babaji Maharaj said, oh, Harikatha, you heard Harikatha? I heard only money, money, money. I heard only these words, money, money, money. So this was his remark about the professional recitation, the professional talk about the Bhagavatam, about Harikatha. It's not enough. It's definitely not enough. And what you hear depends also on your ability to hear. If you are a simple-minded person, you will hear only simple message or material message. If you are a highly elevated spiritual person, then you can pick the essential points, and then you can join on that platform, on that high spiritual platform. So I think we all understand the difference between Katha and Harikatha. We all understand the difference between a talk, a cool and official talk, and a surcharged devotional discussion about divinity. There's a big, huge difference. So the opinion of our acharyas about the official professional reciters, lecturers on the Bhagavatam is it's not an easy opinion. They have a very sharp remark about that. We should avoid. Professional things we should avoid, where the ambition and where the goal is something different, because what is the real goal and the proper goal of Krishna Katha, Harikatha, ISANUKATHA in general? This is the glorification, the selfless glorification of the Supreme. So apart from professional reciters, how about you? What is your surcharge? What is your inspiration to glorify Krishna's reality? We have to be very careful and always examine ourselves how we can approach this mood, this high ideal of selfless glorification, devotional glorification of the Supreme. So his incarnations or avatars, his activities, and the activities of his devotees are included in ISANUKATHA, or in general we can say the science of God. And if we stop here for a while, what does it mean, science of God? We can say that as a scientific discipline, science of God is called, in our culture, it's called theology, right? A very special word by itself. A combination of God and science. So it's a God science, science about God, divine science, or something like this. So, but once a senior friend of mine decided to attend the theological faculty of a university. He was a man of faith, a firm believer. So he decided, in order to improve my faith, in order to meet God, I have to study more. So he enrolled this university course. And after a few weeks, we met again. And I asked, how about your studies? And he said, well, studies are there, but the God experience is missing. It's not coming. I didn't meet God. And I said, oh, wait a minute. I think you are mistaken. Although God is everywhere, but definitely attending a philosophical course at the theological faculty, this is not the way to meet him. The divine experience is a different topic. It's a different subject. So theoretically, we cannot meet God. Theoretically, we can discuss about divine truths, but to meet God is a totally different experience. It's a totally different science. We can say science, but it's a different one. It's a divine science. Srila Prabhupada once said that bhakti yoga is the scientific understanding of God. And once I mentioned this on a public lecture, that, well, bhakti is the scientific understanding of God, and somebody from the audience exclaimed very strongly, scientific? He said he was very surprised that on a yoga lecture or on a devotional lecture, somebody says scientific. But I think we can truly and with full conscience, with full conviction, we can say that this is a scientific method, because it meets all the criteria of science. Because some criteria about a scientific method, that let's say there is a theoretical description. That's a know-how of the scientific process. Well, our scriptures and our tradition gives a lot of information on what to do, how to do, what to perceive, how to go ahead. So all these formalities are there provided. All right. Another scientific requirement is that you can detect the results. You can measure the results. So I think that's also included here. If you practice, you can detect on yourself, on your experience, that something is changing in your life. In the very beginning, we expect that I will have less problems, but maybe I will have more problems, as I have to give up the attachments, which is painful sometimes. And also the challenges concerning the spiritual progress, and also the very painful experience of viraha, or separation from divinity, you will also experience. So don't simply expect that you will have less trouble, because healing is usually through more fever. So fever itself, it's a sign of healing. Although this is difficult to tolerate, but it heals you. So if the troubles are coming to us in life in general, and also included in spiritual life, it's good for a practitioner, because that will diminish the material entanglement. But this is also a side remark for that. In general, our life definitely will improve. We shall have very high ideals. We shall have a very nice practice. We shall have a good sangha. We shall meet very nice people. We shall have excellent food. So all the input that you can acquire is superclass. Is superclass. As bhakti, as a process, is a very delicate one. Very high ideals, very nice practice, and very good results. So it's a very complete, very, very satisfying process. As the Gita says, you can practice it with heart and happiness, and it will give a direct experience of the soul. So the improvement we can measure on ourselves, but usually many times we don't feel this progress on ourselves. But if you look around, and if you check out the devotees next to you, and definitely it's very obvious how much progress they had made. So obviously we can measure the results of bhakti. So this is also a scientific requirement. And then there is another one, like if you repeat the experiment, if you repeat the experiment, a scientific experiment, under the same conditions, you have to come to same results. Now, this is also provided here. All the rules and suggestions how to practice nicely is given. If we follow the rules, most probably we can achieve very similar results like the previous practitioners. So the majority of scientific requirements we can meet, we can fulfill. So we can say that this is a scientific method to understand divinity. Therefore, science of God for us, it's not simply talking about Him, but applying the proper method to gain divine experience. So we can say theory and practice come together in the process of bhakti. So if we can agree that our theology is like a real science of God, first of all, we have to say that it's about Him. It's not Him directly, it's about Him. To speak about something and to possess the same thing, it's not the same. So if we simply speak about water, it will not diminish, it will not satisfy your thirst. On the material platform, it is impossible. Same, to speak about God and to have a direct experience is different. It's different. Therefore, we need to improve our science of God. Our science of God, we have to improve, to add to the theory, to add some practice, some insight. When some revelation is coming to you, I think that's a very interesting and very important part of our process. beyond theoretical and theological discussion, a direct divine experience is what we need. Therefore, we apply the method of the previous acharyas of chanting, serving, worshipping, association, etc., etc., in order to get some results. So therefore, the wise do not discuss about, the wise do not argument about spiritual facts, but they do some practice. So meditation is definitely not equal to argumentation. So meditation is not argumentation. Meditation is a kind of exposure, when you expose yourself to the divine reality, when you put yourself into the presence of Krishna. And therefore we say all the time to surrender at the lotus feet. What does it mean? It's simply poetic words? No, exposure, put yourself at the feet of God. This is the experience. This is to enjoy his direct attention, to enjoy his direct company. Don't live your separate life. Try to live at his lotus feet. So instead of argumentation, instead of debates, better we apply our method and we continue our sadhana. That is a very best advice. And as Srila Prabhupada once said, instead of so many resolutions and discussions and this and that argumentations, simply try to love Krishna. It was a very essential point, because we in the West sometimes we think that we shall reach our spiritual goals by the intellect. We have to become wise in order to love Godhead, but I think it's a mistake. It's not the wisdom, it's the spiritual, it's not the knowledge, it's not the knowledge, but it's the wisdom that will help. It's not the information, but it's the spiritual intelligence that will help us. And spiritual intelligence is simplicity. It's so nice. Simply try to love God. Simply try to love Krishna. This is the essential point. And about tattva, about the divine truths, you can have some discussions. You can have debates. Somebody has this opinion, other has different vision. You can have a debate. About tattva, there is place for a debate. But about ras, about the spiritual taste, about your personal realization, it's not a topic for debate. There's no debate. It's a personal revelation. Therefore, they say that our contemplation plus the divine revelation equals to spiritual realization. Right? I think it's a very, very important equation. Personal contemplation plus a divine revelation equals to spiritual realization. So what does it mean? Contemplation is not simply passively observe a situation, but it's like an active creative process to supply your meditative energies to the divine reality. It's a way to approach the higher truth. Just like Srila Prabhupada in the very beginning, when he arrived to the United States, once he was sitting on a bench in a park and somebody was sitting next to him. And although at that time he was a penniless mendicant coming from India, and he started to describe about the hundreds and thousands of followers, the many centers, a great mission. He had nothing. He had nothing, zero. But his contemplation was there. It's like he created, he foresaw this reality coming to him. So this is what I mean, like a personal contemplation that try to create, try to co-create the divine reality that is waiting for you. The majority of services is waiting for us. The majority is ahead of us. Don't think that you had accomplished much. No, the best part is still coming. So we have to contemplate about our spiritual future. We have to contemplate about how to practically accomplish our simple services. Even if you have to make the puja for tomorrow, for our beloved deities, you have to contemplate about it. How to obtain the flowers, how to cook, how to prepare everything, and etc. So you have to create that reality, and then it will happen. So this is the human side, contemplation, as a spiritual practice, like a creative imagination, we can say. Our contemplation is for service. We want to project, we want to create all the possible and necessary ingredients of our service, of our worship. And the divine part is the revelation. So you do your contemplation, you do your meditation, and when this power of prayer, the power of the mantra, the power of your meditation will reach Krishna's reality, then he responds, and then he reveals. This is his part. So if we add these two sides together, the human contemplation and the divine revelation, then the spiritual realization will come. And actually, this is your private, individual ISANUKATHA, the act of Krishna, personally to you, with you, the encounter with God Supreme, personally perceived by you, right? Don't expect too big, too high revelations, because maybe we cannot tolerate that. But little signs he will give, little or bigger signs he will give. And if your approach is theoretical, then theoretically you will receive some answers. But if your approach is very practical, very personal, and very personal response you will receive. I have some friends who have very, very personal connection to the Supreme, and even on the physical platform, it happens all the time. So Krishna takes care of his devotees in a very personal, in a very intimate manner. It's so nice to see, so nice. Maybe you don't receive the same attention, but if you know somebody who receives the attention of the Supreme, then you can be sure it works. You can be sure it works. And better to see it with others. Right? So as I said, there is no arguments about Ras. We cannot open a debate about which. I feel that the left hand of Krishna is more beautiful, and you will feel that the right hand of Krishna is more beautiful. There's no debate about that, because both his hands are very beautiful. But for some reason, you have that inspiration for the right hand. For some reason, I have the inspiration for the left hand. So if our opinions meet, then we shall have a more complete picture. So this is the beauty of Ras. It's not a debate, either this or that, but it's a chance for higher synthesis. It's a chance for divine unity, a more complete picture of divine reality, right? So we can say that theology is for the human mind, for the human intellect. And when I say human, of course, all the other human forms of existence are involved, like the demigods and the Rishi Munis and etc., who live on a higher platform of intelligence, but they practically belong to the same category. We belong to the same category, this human tattva. And all this knowledge about God, describing the divine reality, is a food for the brain. Satisfies you for some time, but also invites you for a more passionate search, for a deeper search for the experience. Not simply to talk about it, but to experience. Search for Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful. So theoretically we cannot love God. Theoretically we cannot agree on the beauty of the Supreme, but we have to be very inspired about it. Very inspired about it. So if we return a little bit to the science of God, as I mentioned, also in our tradition, not simply in the Western sciences, but in our tradition, this knowledge of God, this divine knowledge, is categorized under different names. For example, Brahman, they also call the divine knowledge, the divine truth, like Brahman. So it's one meaning of Brahman is this divine truth, this truth of God, Brahman. But who is satisfied with Brahman? Simply, we need to find something more. We need to find the source of that knowledge. So after the human type of theological knowledge like ISANUKATHA, let's go one step further. Science of God, divine knowledge like Brahman will help us to understand the science of God, the real, deeper science of God, right? So please remember, human intellect, some discussions, some truths, some dogmas or things like this. Then the divine knowledge as a path leading to a higher reality. And then we are introduced into this higher type of science of God. And there we can find three categories. On the absolute plane, everything is complete and perfect. There's nothing short there. There's nothing missing. So everything is full and complete. Therefore, even the first level of this spiritual science of God is full. It's a complete picture. It's called Purnam, complete, full, up to the brim. And this is Brahman, that God exists. Spirit is of prime importance. Life is sacred. Such realizations. The unity principle. It's a revelation. Gives a very good vision of unity, that everything you can trace back to one original source, to one original reason. Everything belongs together. There is a network of reality which binds everything together. So it's a complete picture, Purnam. The second phase is more complete. It's more complete picture. This is a Purnatara. This is the Paramatma realization, when you understand that God is there everywhere, with everyone. Everybody's heart. He is living in everybody's heart. And so this is more complete. Of course, it's very strange to say more complete. If something is complete, then it's final. But it's a more complete realization, the Paramatma stage. And finally, the fully complete realization is the Purnatama, the top realization of Godhead is a Bhagavan, the personal approach. We can say that the Brahman realization is like an open and mystic level of divine consciousness. Open because this is the most easy to reach, yet mystic because it is revealed to you. It's not something that you understand from books, but it should reveal to you. So in that sense, it is mystic. The Paramatma realization is hidden. It's hidden. Krishna is hiding in everybody's heart. The yogis try to see his presence, try to realize his presence in their heart. So therefore we can say it's hidden. It's not so obvious. As a Brahman conception, people usually understand observing the world, the external world. And either they understand that this is illusion, or they see beyond this experience and they find the unity beyond the diversity. But this God residing in the heart, it's more hidden. You have to apply a mystic method like the yoga or the meditation so that it reveals. But the fully complete picture, the Bhagavan realization, it's a secret method. It's a secret stage. The first two, like the Brahman and Paramatma, is for the philosophers, for those who study theology, for those who attend the theological course at universities. It is for those who debate about the different levels of spiritual realization. Good for them. They will be satisfied with this. So we can say that this is for a limited circle. Very few people will discuss or study theology, right? How many? Very few. Very few. If you make an open public lecture telling that it's about Indian philosophy, 3 people will come. If you make a public lecture about Indian dance theater, 300 people will come. So theology is for a very limited circle. But what is the nature of the fully complete realization of Bhagavan realization, the personal side of God? It's not theory, it's practice. It's not theology, it's prem. And prem is for everyone. Everybody tries to practice divine love on the spiritual platform, or the reflection, distorted reflections on the material platform. This is for all. Even a bird will love the small ones. It's for everyone. It's a much broader circle, for a much broader circle. Not everybody discusses theology or philosophy, but everybody discusses the questions of love. So therefore, prem is the supremely universal principle. And so strange, the open secret about God, that he's everywhere, it's a general topic, and it's a theoretical realization. But the most secret topic, that what is the nature of divine love, is for everyone. It's not limited. So you see how strange Mahaprabhu opened up this treasure house of divine love, made it public, made it open, made it like a general experience. Of course, not everybody will join, but at least we all have the chance. And if we have received an invitation, then better we try to practice this beautiful, beautiful process. So what kind of knowledge God has if we go beyond these conceptions that we create, we humans have about him? What about his knowledge? What kind of knowledge he's got? Some people will think that God is like a universal supercomputer, like with all the data and all the information of the created world. But wait a minute. If you were God, would you be happy to be a supercomputer? I think not. You want to have your private life. You're not an official register of some data, but you want to live. So we can also say that, some can also say that God is like the most complete possible library containing all the information. But also there is a mystic way, there is something spiritual, because he must possess all the visions, all the realizations of visionaries, mystics, devotees, fortune tellers in a good sense. So all the inspirations that humans have, he possesses that knowledge also. So it's vast. It's a totality. It's a totality of experience. It's a totality of knowledge. But of course, we are very brave to try to have any understanding or any vision about God Supreme. It's a very brave. Humans are very brave. We want to see the truth face to face. Of course, that's a big debate whether the limited human beings can perceive God or the divine truth in reality. And if we examine the human side, it is practically impossible. But as Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, nothing can stop the unlimited to show himself to the limited. So this is our chance that Krishna can reveal, Krishna can show his face to us. However limited, however blind we are, he can give us the eye. So as I mentioned, that Ishan means like an ability. This kind of knowledge for what God possesses, this kind of ability, this kind of potential is also included, and he's able to create, maintain, and destroy. So G-O-D, generator, operator, destructor. G-O-D, remember. Therefore, one of our meditation is to give up the attachments. So let it go, let go. Whatever is incomplete, whatever is disturbing, whatever is blocking our path, let it go. Attachments, false ambitions, or material concepts, let it go. And it's so nice in English if you add a D at the end. Let God. So it's not simply a rejection that let it go, but it's an inclusion. Let God help us. Let God purify us. So I think it's good to remember. It's not simply renouncing certain things, but exposing ourselves to divine reality and inviting him to our life. So he's able to create, maintain, and destroy. But where is Krishna's attention? Have you ever thought of that? Where is his attention? There are certain events in life or in the created universes which he doesn't pay too much attention. The rules of nature, karma, action, reaction, or the basic truths will operate. So some tendencies he doesn't pay any attention. He lets it happen as it goes, right? Through Maya, guna, karma, Maya, he exercises his supervision. We can say there's minimal attention there. He created the rules, but otherwise he doesn't pay attention on basic stuff. There are some activities in the universe where Krishna pays intermediate attention, like when he delegates some powers to the demigods, to some rulers of the cosmic hierarchy. So an intermediate, medium attention he gives to such things, but it's also very far away for him. He fulfills all these duties through some representatives, right? Also Gunavatars included here, like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all the different things of creation, maintenance, and destruction, he fulfills through these representatives. No direct interest there. Yet there are some parts of divine reality where he pays intermediate plus attention. Like Vaikuntha, he pays attention, he's there, he receives all the attention and all the services from his followers. So there is an intermediate plus attention, for example, in the Vaikuntha. He shares some of these services and experiences with some intimate servants. But where is Krishna's full attention? I think as he is a Lila Purushottam, I think we can know that his full attention is on the Leelas, on his divine pastimes. Therefore, he is not a supercomputer that you can derive the data from. No, he is a living being. He enjoys his own freedom. He enjoys his own life to the full. So Leelas, he pays most attention. He enjoys himself and also enjoys the company of his beloved devotees. His full attention is there. His full cognizance, his full knowledge, his full consciousness is there. He lives there. We are very similar. Where is your attention? You live there, right? Therefore, it is said in dance, in Indian dances, they say they have these gestures with the hand, the mudras. They say, wherever is your hand, there is your vision. And wherever is your vision, there is your mind. And wherever is your mind, there is your heart, right? So action, vision, thought, and feeling. Krishna's action is in the Leelas. Krishna's thoughts are in the Leelas for sure. If you can dance under a full moon night with the gopis, do you pay any attention on creation of some material planets? I think no way. It's so insignificant compared to the divine reality, right? So the action is there in the Leelas. The vision is there in the Leelas. The thoughts of Krishna is there in the Leelas. And his heart is also there in the Leelas. So we can say that he knows everything. He knows every information of the created universe because everything is coming from him. Of course, he knows. He reads your heart. He reads your mind. He knows your thoughts as well. No secret for him. His full understanding, his full attention is there on his Leelas, the spiritual reality and his Leelas. But the most important question is, what does he not know? Where is the limit of Krishna's full knowledge, full science? What is hidden from him? And fortunately, this very, very secret and mystic, super question we can understand from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example. When Krishna wanted to come as a devotee, what is the feeling? What is the happiness that my devotees feel? I don't know what is the feeling to be a devotee. I want to perceive that. I want to experience what does it mean to be a devotee, right? It's such a high thing. God wants to come like you. You have this same chance as what he wanted to perceive. I think it's mind-blowing that we can do what even he cannot do. He has to come specifically for that purpose. What is the pleasure that my devotees derive from me, from worshipping me? You know, it's a kind of very special self-reflection for Krishna. What do they like in me? So he wants to understand himself through becoming a devotee. That's very beautiful, very beautiful. But the ultimate question for Krishna, which he doesn't know, which he wants to understand, which he wants to find, there is one small little question. Where is Radha? Where is my beloved Radha? This is the only question he is seeking for. So the supreme intelligence in his whole entire existence is searching for divine emotions, right? So this is our ideal. This is our ideal, that even God himself is searching for divine love. Beautiful, beautiful. So I think it's so highly intelligent and rasic answer to the what is the purpose of God's life? This is the purpose, to search for divine love, right? So where is my Radha? This is the question Krishna has. And therefore we can say that his full attention is on this question up to the maximum. Because his full attention is there on the Leelas, when he enjoys with the devotees, but what he is searching for, full attention with full intensity. That's higher, full intention to the maximum. So, ISANUKATHA, discussions about God. You know, the Bhagavatam says there are innumerable avatars of the Supreme, like small rivers running from an never-ending, never-stopping source. Innumerable, so many. He reveals himself in so many forms. Then the discussion about his activities included. Also his devotees, action of his devotees are discussed. But if you check the proportion of the Bhagavatam, it's 18,000 verses, we know. But if you check the proportion of the different topics, like, let's say, data, histories, general glorification, etc. In this way, I mean, then the broad basic information is given, for example, about the facts of creation, about the time, the material factors of creation, the Mahat, and the whole process of creation. We discussed that a little bit. Laws of nature. It's a broad discussion, and many times you find. Then you will find the historical facts concerning the historical time frame that we can detect from textbooks, and also the cosmic history, like different epochs, different planets of the universe. So it's a very wide, broad historical facts you can find there. The dynasties of the different kings and the historical facts. Oh, it's a long discussion about which king had how many sons and who was the wife and how many children they started to have and who was the son of this son and the son of that son. So it's a long, long list of family tree. So this kind of information, historical records, you will also find. But I noticed that when such kind of information is discussed, and then the attention you pay is going down. You need action to regain your attention, and therefore some interesting action stories are mentioned there. The demons come, and then Vishnu comes, and poof, poof, they fight, and finally divine power will overcome all the dark forces, right? And then your attention is back a little bit. All right, now we can listen to the next list of thousands of sons of the great kings. So action always describes the truth, that the light overcomes the darkness. This is the truth. This is our hope. This is what we have to serve. So all these action stories in the Bhagavatam will fix that truth. And then another topic is the general glorification. Many times you will find in the Bhagavatam such kind of ISANUKATHA. Oh, you are the master of the universe. You are beyond the gunas. They cannot touch you. You are fully independent. And Maya cannot come close to you. And therefore we worship you. You provide all for life, and therefore we worship you. So for this kind of general glorification, you are great, you are nice, you are beyond the limitations of time and space and matter. But what is the purpose of this? We all know that. In the first lectures you have heard that Krishna is beyond. So we need the specific glorification. As I told you in the beginning, real Harikatha is discussion about Godhead with heart. So the specific glorification discusses the Leelas. It's Krishna Katha with the heart. We can say that it's not discussion about samsara, because this is fully beyond the topics of samsara. This is for the super intelligent in spiritual science, because the ultimate thing that we have to study is the divine feelings. This is the topmost. It's not the creation, because that is the most elementary thing. The topmost is the divine feelings, which captures even Krishna's attention, right? He is searching for us. So therefore, this is the ultimate topic to discuss. And the rasic topics, this is the specific glorification. The Gopi Gita is the specific glorification. The Leela Smaranam, this is the special glorification waiting for the devotees, and also the devotees are waiting for this. So, ISANUKATHA, or glorification of the Supreme, means all the basic and general information and glorification as well. But for us, the most important part is the specific glorification, where we can admire the beauty of meeting of Radha and Govinda, right? So what is a puja in a temple, in an ashram? What is that? It's the celebration of meeting, right? We celebrate that divine beauty as Govinda and divine love as Srimati Radharani, they meet. They are united. They are together forever. So a puja is not simply an official way of worship. No, this is a glorification of the meeting of divine beauty and divine love. So this is our ISANUKATHA. This is our discussion about the Supreme, reserved for the devotees. General discussion is there for everyone. Specific discussion, glorification is there for the Rasik. Second verse from the Bhagavatam says this is for the Rasik devotees, right? So, of course, we have to approach this very intimate and very high topic with the utmost attention and glorification. But therefore, the last verse from the Bhagavatam is very instructive. Don't forget, it starts with the Satyam Param Dhimahi. Let's meditate over the Supreme Absolute Truth. So it's an invitation for meditation. And what is the last verse? It's so beautiful. The last verse says, I offer my respects to Sri Hari, who will dispel all the fear and all the apprehension. He is the Supreme Lord. Because chanting his holy names, all the sinful reactions of humans are eliminated. So the Bhagavatam starts with inviting us for a meditation. And the last message of the Bhagavatam is the glorification of the holy name, because it can eradicate all the mistakes of a human being. So I think ISANUKATHA, the glorification of the Supreme, his different appearances, his different avatars, his activities, and also his activities with the devotees, his interaction with the devotees. This combines this topic, the seventh topic of the Bhagavatam, ISANUKATHA, and you can find the best and heart-touching and elevating your heart message there. So please receive that message and reflect it back, because it's not enough simply to listen, but Shravanam, but we need also to reflect, to speak about it, Kirtanam, glorify the Supreme by chanting the holy names, by sharing the divine message with others, and then spiritual perfection is provided for us. Of course, we can also ask, but how to glorify the Supreme? I cannot give lectures. I cannot speak up in public. I don't fully understand the theory. But don't forget, Prema Bhakti is not a theological exercise. Prema Bhakti is a natural feeling of the heart, of the soul. It's a natural function of the soul to love God. So even if you simply ask a person who is sensitive, are you satisfied with your life? Have you ever thought of God or eternity? Or do you think that the world is going to a good direction? It's enough. It's enough. That person will start to think. Starts to think. And if Krishna wants to understand himself through becoming a devotee, if you become a devotee, you will also understand yourself better. And if somebody will start his spiritual journey by your help, it's very beneficial for them, for you, and for that person as well. So if there is a willingness, if you are ready to share, then Krishna will give you the opportunity, and Mahaprabhu will speak instead of you. And we only need to express our willingness. So the best glorification is your life. If you live in such a manner that people will see the shine in your eyes, the beauty in your life, the splendor around you, then they will ask you, hey, what is your secret? How come it happens around you? They will understand. So we are happy to glorify the Supreme. If we had thousands of mouths and ears, even that would not be enough to glorify him properly. But at least the small little thing, our small little contribution, we have to give, we have to provide. So great is the Lord who never leaves his servants, and glorious is a servant who never leaves his master. So in that sense, I wanted to offer this little talk to the sacred memory of Mridula and all the devotees who are present here, who cannot be here today, who are coming for the next time, because we should be united in the spirit. We should be touching the eternal flame, and beyond separation, there is the meeting of the divine couple. So thank you so much for your attention. Please accept my humble obeisances, and I wish all good success for you in your spiritual endeavors, and meet you next time. Please pay attention on the dates, because I think next time we shall be a little bit off the dates. So pay attention, and prepare very nicely for Janmashtami celebration, which is coming very soon. This is our greatest event to celebrate the divine appearance of our beloved Krishna. This is a very significant period of the year, and it's a good chance, a good opportunity for a merry and happy, fully satisfied celebration. Thank you so much. Magyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna. So many of you are here. So nice. Maybe you have some questions or remarks?
Gurudev, do you hear me?
Yes, yes, perfectly.
This thought made big imprint on me. When Krishna says, where is my Radha?
Mm.
This is it.
Yeah, his full attention is there. So please think, what is he thinking about? Sometimes it is difficult to understand what we ourselves are thinking about, right? Because the mind is wandering so wide. But if ever we can understand the thoughts of God, the divine thoughts of Krishna, then your life will for sure completely change. Then you will live in his thoughts, with his thoughts, which you can never leave. So great, great understanding. Please never forget about this chance. We have a chance. You can also read the mind of Krishna.
Gurudev, I see a question in the chat. I will read it in English. From Urmila.
Yes.
I didn't really understand what you meant with inwardly preparing our seva.
Co-creating, yeah. Some mental gymnastics, yeah. I read also the All right. Thank you for the challenging remark. But I think this concept of co-creating the divine reality is also quite challenging, right? Because it shows that a fully surrendered devotee is part of the divine reality. So his contribution is there. Maybe I'm not part of that divine reality yet, but if we qualify ourselves, then Krishna will consider your opinion. He will take your contribution into consideration, right? Just like many times we think that, for example, our relationship to the spiritual master is one direction, from him to me. But Gurudev sometimes showed that this is two-way. It's a two-way road. Once, for example, he embraced one of his senior devotees, and he said, all right, now apart from the official side, what is your opinion about this? Right? So in a very human manner, in a very human way, he inquired, he shared, right? So he was very strong, of course, always on if we made a mistake or if we forget about the position of the spiritual master, he always, at the moment, he made us remember. But sometimes he wanted to share like a human being. So it's a two-way direction. I think it's the same with God. You can create your own demons. I think there is no question about that, right? So hellish reality you can create with your thoughts, right? It's easy. In the same way, a divine reality we can also co-create with the best part of our intellect. I mean, best part of the heart and soul. So it's very difficult to properly express what I mean, but yeah, to put it very simply, if you offer to Krishna today halwa, he will accept, right? So this is what I mean, co-create divine reality. Maybe he wanted to take, sweet rice, but you didn't prepare the sweet rice, you created the halwa. But if you offer it with full heart and soul, he will accept, right? Your contribution is your service, and he will accept. So in that way, you co-create his happiness, so to say. I hope it's a little bit more clear now what I mean. But definitely I can say that Krishna expects his pure devotees to help him. He is ready to share himself with them. And a mishap in this co-creation is like a rasa bus. Like a rasa bus. When you push something which is not according to his taste, that's also a creation, right? But this is called, distaste. It's not welcome. But when we can catch on his taste, when we can enhance his mood, then we could co-create something. We could contribute to his more complete feelings. And therefore, this topic, the ultimate topic as the divine relationship, I think it's very, very important, because please remember the questions of the Munis to Brahma when they asked, oh, please specify for us who is God, if there is anything that death is afraid of, and what is the best topic, what is the ultimate topic to know, and what makes the world go round. There's four questions were there. Who is God Supreme? Who is the fear of God? Who is God? Who is death? Death afraid of whom? What is the best topic to know? And what makes the world go round? And then the very specific mantra came, Govinda is God. Krishna is God. Govinda, death is afraid of Govinda, is the relationship with the gopis. This is what you have to know. This is the ultimate topic. And Swaha, the sacrifice, makes the world go round. Right? Krishna is the supreme. Govinda, the death is afraid of Govinda. The relationship to the gopis, this is the ultimate topic. And sacrifice is the way. So the ultimate topic here is Gopi Jana, the beloved one of the gopis. So therefore we can say that if we contribute there, if we focus our attention there, then this is the best topic. So, of course, to be a co-creator with Krishna, it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job because only for the qualified. It's only for the qualified. But the pure hearts, they are qualified. The young ones, they are qualified. The innocent ones, they are qualified. It's so nice to see that. So nice to see that. The definition of Srila Siddham Maharaj about love, the power of love, is like this. When you compare the power of the father and the small boy, it's incomparable. The father is 1,000 times stronger than the small boy. Yet, when the boy is catching the father by the finger and he will pull the father to one direction, he will go with the son. This is when the smaller overcomes the greater. This is possible only due to one specific power of the human beings, which is called love. So when the smaller overcomes the greater, this is called love. And we try to practice divine love. Smaller overcomes the greater. Krishna is ready to satisfy his devotees. Krishna is searching for Radha, a devotee, right? And so many other instances of this topic. So it's a very high concept. Please don't misunderstand this. It's very high concept. But the more we surrender, the more we submit ourselves to Krishna's desires, the more we shall be able to serve his mood, to make his full happiness even more complete. So this is the point here. Yeah, thank you for the remark. I think now it's more clear, right? Jai, take care.
I think there is another question from the ashram in Sofia. Let's see. So it was. Thank you so much for the lecture. I have two questions. We saw this comparison between Srimad Bhagavatam and different parts of the body of Krishna. The first and second canto were describing his legs. Is it correct to look at Srimad Bhagavatam the same way? And if yes, then what part of the body is the seventh canto? Okay, so that was the first question.
Yeah. Actually, these topics are not going according to the cantos, because we have 10 main topics and 12 cantos, right? So this is not strictly and in a very structured manner according to the books of the Bhagavatam, but more like essential topics discussed there. And generally, the Mahapuranas or the greater Puranas, they have 10 topics. The smaller Puranas, they have 5 topics. So this is a different classification. But of course, we understood from the Bhagavatam itself that when Krishna left the planet, it's so painful for us that usually we don't discuss that. But when he left the planet, the previous yuga was finished and the new yuga of this Iron Age started because God was not present there anymore. Yet he is still present in 2 ways, minimum 2 ways, and some other ways also, through his holy name. This is one, which was the conclusion of the Bhagavatam itself, a glorification of the holy name. And second, it is said that the Srimad Bhagavatam should be treated like an incarnation of God Krishna. So it's so sacred, it so much represents him in full that we should accept Bhagavatam as an incarnation of Lord Krishna. So if you say that we can compare the Bhagavatam to the body, so to say, to the divine body of Krishna, all right, we can agree on this point, but then what is the heart? What is the heart of Krishna? As Srila Puri Maharaj said, the heart of Krishna is the pure devotees, because the pure devotees are there in the heart of Krishna, and in the heart of the pure devotees, there's always Krishna. So the heart-to-heart connection is happening like this. And from another point of view, we can say that the heart of Krishna is the 10th canto, especially the rasic chapters. So actually, these are the most important discussions about Krishna Tattva, about Krishna Leela. These rasic chapters describing the rasa dance, the preparation for the rasa dance, the feeling of the gopis, the exchange between Krishna and the gopis. So this is the emotional essence of the whole Bhagavatam. Therefore, we can say that this is the heart, gate of the heart for Krishna. So all the different other parts and other aspects you can find in other chapters, in other stories, in other cantos of the Bhagavatam, like the hero of, even in Krishna Leela, when he is fighting for Mathura or for the truth, or when he is moving from Dwarika. This is his heroic aspect. But when we discuss his very intimate, very simple leelas in Vrindavan, that's different taste, different environment. What to speak of killing some demons, like in different other incarnations. So there's a gradation, pushing our attention, directing our attention to some important points. I like this comparison of Krishna's body to the Bhagavatam, but my preference is with the heart, because where is the action, there is the eye. Where is the eye, there is the thought. Where is the thought, there is the heart. So if you catch the heart, you catch everything. If you capture only if you follow only the action, then you might miss something. So please, we should not miss anything. Where is the action, there is the vision. Where is the vision, there is the thought. Where is the thought, there is the heart. And what is the second question?
Извинявайте, ако е малко наивен, но понеже знаем, че може различните епохи да се проявят.
The different epochs might be not one after another, not in a consequence. It's possible that Treta can come before Dwapara. They can be replaced. Yes. Is it possible in Kali Yuga? Mahaprabhu's influence to be so powerful that the Satya Yuga comes not just for the devotees, but for whole the world.
Oh, if you pray more, it will happen. Yes, please go ahead. No, but I have to tell you, I'm a little more skeptical about that. So this word is doomed for failure. I see some very difficult signs, very negative signs. So I'm not so happy about the present condition of the word. Unfortunately, this is my opinion, this is my realization. But definitely, if the difficulties become more destructive, then the mercy should be extended more and more. So in that sense, Mahaprabhu's appearance was for the best purpose, to counterbalance the difficulties of the Kali Yuga. Unfortunately, sometimes it looks like that the demoniac forces are stronger. It looks like. But it all moves like in waves. And if one wave is up, then another wave is down, and then they start to exchange the position. So in this created material world, everything has the stamp, time limitation over that. Everything will pass away, good and bad as well. So material happiness, material suffering will all pass away. Therefore, we need to focus on the eternal things. And yeah, I don't see any other possible way than mercy to help the present condition of the world. Yeah, even some devotees, they say that life is so difficult and the attention is so weak of people in general, that by theology, by philosophy, by explanation, it's almost impossible to help. But we have two weapons. We have two very major weapons, and one is the bhajan and the other is the prasadam. So these two, everybody will understand, everybody will surrender to these weapons. Why? Because it touches the heart. It doesn't touch the brain, the intellect, by some very complicated explanation about this and that. People are fed up with that. What they need is an experience. And by tasting prasadam, the soul has got an experience. By flying on the wings of a bhajan, your heart will have an experience, no doubt. And then later on, we can also introduce some of the theory. But actually, we want to be lovers of Godhead, simply. Nothing else. We don't want to become sophisticated philosophers. We don't want to become complicated minds. No, we want to become simple lovers of Godhead. And that is open for everyone. That is open for the pure hearts. This is our ambition.
Thank you, Gurudev, for your answer.
This was the second question? Oh, Jai. Radha Govinda Ji ki Jai Ho. It's a very poetic backdrop for Radha Govinda Ji. Thanks for Srimati Hari Leela Devidasi. This is a three-dimensional rose garden for Radha Govinda. It's so beautiful. It's so good. They are so satisfied. So thank you so much for that service. Jai. All right, so I think the trial, I don't want to use so difficult words, but we have to survive the hard times. Better say like this. We have to survive the hard times. And it's very obviously seen that those who are strong in their spiritual practice and those who are under protection, they will survive. And those who are missing such a divine protection, they're exposed to all the troubles and all the difficulties of life. I think much pressure is over there, people in general. So we are very grateful for our divine masters to provide this shelter and this protection. And please also help yourself and help others to enjoy this divine protection. And also returning to one little point in the lecture, when I said that I try to share with others. Maybe you are not an eloquent speaker, you don't organize a public lecture, but if you have the desire, you will find a way how to help people. It's absolutely not impossible. And as we pray, that mukam karoti vachalam, the divine mercy can turn the dumb person into an eloquent speaker. So therefore, we belong to the mercy sampradaya, and try to pass on, try to distribute this mercy, invite others to this mood, to this practice, this beautiful process of Prem Bhakti. Jai. Maybe some more remarks or questions? All right. So then see you in 1 month's time. We also have a secret conspiration with Krishna Priya and some others. She will attend a special yoga, book fair, right? So to make a secret open, right? You agree if I tell you a secret? And then maybe we can attend a public meeting on this book fair while visiting Sofia. So I hope if you pray and God helps, Krishna will remove all the obstacles, and then we can fully enjoy. Today we enjoy viraha, separation, but maybe sometimes we can enjoy the meeting and the unity. So thank you so much. Be blessed and be strong in your services, and open the gates, help others, make our Mahaprabhu happy in Sofia, and see you very soon. Be blessed. Thank you so much.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gauranga Prema.